Hello, and welcome to the Game Room. Today I review the only game in town, the Game of Thrones, where you either win or you die. There is no middle ground. But this isn't a review on the first season, that comes later. This is a review on the DVD box set. And every DVD review needs to begin with an unboxing. So let's open this up, like a White Walker opens up a Night's Watchman. So on this authentic Northern tartan, I will show you just a slipcover. It comes off. We have Ned Stark once again, the complete first season. Slips out easily. And there he is again. And on the back, we have his opposite, Tyrion Lannister, everyone's favorite character. If you haven't watched the series yet, spoilers, this is your favorite character. And then we open it up, and we see at odds the king and queen. Although in the series, more so than the book, they're less at odds. And I kind of like that change. Made them more dynamic and interesting. And then we open this up, and we have the Song of Ice and Fire. And each disc has the sigil of a house. So we have Stark, Lannister, Baratheon the Stag, the Targaryen dragon, and finally the eagle of the Arryns of the Eyrie, or the Eyrie. The Eyrie is the American pronunciation that I use. And then there's an episode guide. But what is handy is in here you have a family guide for all the major houses: House Baratheon, House Lannister, the Targaryens, most of which you can see are deceased. And then their allies. Here's sort of the royal court, the different characters that hang around the king and advise him for good or for ill. Then we have the Starks, the Stark household. And on the back, we open this up, and you have a map of Westeros, the South America-sized continent in which the story takes place, as well as the Narrow Sea and a bit of the Eastern Kingdoms in which the Dothraki live. I own about 15 maps because, owning all the Game of Thrones books and the RPGs and the board games, but I can tell you right now, that is a quality map in there. And it's also good, if you're unfamiliar with the series, to reference that and, see where all the events take place. So, that is the inside of the DVD. So, now we've seen the opulence and elegance of the box. But what's on each disc? Well, first, there are commentary on 7 out of the 10 episodes. Episodes 1 through 4 all have commentary, and then after that, it's commentary on all of the even-numbered episodes. All the major actors, except for Sean Bean, and all the creators and all the writers, they all have at least one episode in which they provide their commentary on what it was like to create the episode, to act in the episode, to work on the episode, and what they think of it. In episode 8, which was written, the screenplay was written by George R.R. Martin, who, of course, wrote the series of books that the show is based on. He comments throughout that whole episode, and it's interesting because, he has a different take than anyone else because he created the series. And now he is also adapting the series that he has created. He's adapting it to the small screen. So it's interesting to see what he thinks. And he is well chuffed that the series is going so well. The commentaries are all interesting. They're insightful. And you get to see that this series was crafted with such love and such detail, the kinds of which that you see in the Lord of the Rings movies. The actors talk about when they pick up a book on set or when they open up a chest. The book is fully written out. Everything's it's just filled with written word. And they open up a chest and there's things inside. Things that would never be on screen because their character isn't called on to open up this chest and look inside. But the set dressers still filled it with such details. And it's really good to see that amount of detail and that craft going into the series. And the writers in their commentary, they talk about certain plot lines that were left out of the first season, but they promise that will show up later. For example, the one where Sandor Clegane the Hound, this sort of Frankenstein's monster of a man, begins to fall for the beautiful princess that is Sansa Stark. And, you know, that sort of sad tale is promised to be coming up later. And there's interesting anecdotes like Macy Williams, who plays Arya Stark, is right-handed, but Arya is left-handed. And so she learned all that fighting with Syrio Forel with her offhand. You know, that was her dedication, even though she's like 10. And Lena Headey, the actress who plays Cersei Lannister, her commentary is hilarious because she's as blunt and profane as Deborah Morgan, and her commentary is awesome. It is just golden. It's great. There's another section called the Complete Guide to Westeros, and this is sort of a Wikipedia-esque, you know, section where you can go in and you can look at the lands and the peoples and the history of all of these different places in Westeros, because the reality of a TV series is that since the episodes range between 50 and 60 minutes, you only have so much time to put in so much lore that is in this series. I mean, this is the thinnest book. This is the first book, so that's the first season right there. And you can only fit in so much information in the actual show. And so having this Complete Guide to Westeros really fills in any gaps. You know, it gives you any details that you thought, like, oh, they're talking about the Iron Islands, but what exactly are they like? And so you can look at this section and read what it says. It isn't voiced, it's text and a few pictures, but you can check this section out and it'll answer any questions that you have about the series and about the background of the whole thing. So that's great. There are also plenty of behind-the-scenes featurettes on the last disc, and it's pretty much what you'd expect. You know, behind-the-scenes making of, you know, what it was like to shoot in Malta, what it was like to shoot in Northern Ireland, you know, checking out the costuming, the props, you know, things like that. The most interesting behind-the-scenes featurette is when they talk about the Dothraki language. They had a linguist come in, and HBO commissioned this entire language to be created. So when Jason Momoa, who plays Khal Drogo, when he's giving his speech in Dothraki, that's an actual language that he is now bilingual in. He knows English and Dothraki. And so, you know, it's an entire language created just for the show. And of course, there's no word for thank you in Dothraki. There are 5 for how well you kill someone. And there's another section in which all the major actors talk about their character. They talk about the choices they made in portraying them. They talk about, you know, some character background and how that influenced, you know, how they go about playing the character. So those are also interesting to see, and you know, you get one for each major character. And so that's the DVD for A Game of Thrones. It's top quality. I would say it's surpassed or equaled only by the Lord of the Rings special editions, which had, I think, more behind-the-scenes, you know, features than the movie length itself. So I suggest getting in on this game. Thanks for watching.